You have to understand what I was going through and everything, my psychology throughout the entire thing. This was the first time in my life I lost friends. I spent most of my life trying to make them. Then I found...
What? No, alright.
I know that sounds bad.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Labb, and first of all, Kero, you say a lot in this video. This ain't we. You drag our names down like you've dragged a roadkill into the boot of your car. Allegedly. So, today I've brought my friend Ace to come and watch this awful video named Furry Fandom versus Cancel Culture by the Dog Fucker. He makes a lot of hypocritical points, and we'll come to point this out in the video, so without further ado, here you go.
Hi guys. There has always been a problem in the fandom with people who assume the worst of others. People who hide behind their good intentions and claim that when they attack their fellow furry, they're doing it for the sake of bettering the fandom's image. We have always had a habit of adopting hurtful labels for the sake of branding other people we disagree with as other. From perverted to degenerate to the other colorful terms we've been using lately. There have been groups that held the belief for our community to be accepted by the world at large. So as long as we remove a specific aspect or section of our community, people can't even agree on what section that needs to be removed.
What part of the fandom is Kero talking about? Is he talking about Nazi furs? Because I'm pretty sure the only people that don't agree with removing them from the fandom, as Kero calls it, is the supporters themselves. Another point I want to make is that some members have been under consideration, if you want to call it that. You know, people such as Jason Aphex and Kero himself, and rightfully so for their wrongdoings and harm for the rest of the fandom.
There have been countless examples of people being defamed and attacked over these false accusations, all for chasing clout and trying to be accepted by society. But people like to forget what the furry fandom was about originally. We were all outcasts. Our community was built on a common bond. And regardless of who you were and what you believed, that bond made you part of something more. We were always hated by the outside world who saw what we did as a fetish.
What you did was definitely a fucking fetish, mate. I know about a kink shame.
The fandom was not initially made for younger audiences. Some of the earliest artistic renditions of the fandom, such as Fritz the Cat, are proof of this.
While like many of the other people watching this video, I had to look into what he was referencing. I don't know if he has noticed, but much younger people have joined the fandom and were not born in the time frame when this was released, such as myself. So, for those people that are curious, Fritz the Cat is an adult cartoon released in 1972 based on a comic strip. So yes, there may have been evidence of adult furry action from several years ago, but this doesn't change the fact that there are still younger audiences within our community. What point is he trying to make with this?
I'm tired of everyone stepping on each other just because they want to be a little bit more popular.
Watching this video, I noticed Kero references popularity a lot. Why does he think that everyone is doing this for a popularity boost? People are not calling you out in order to gain subscribers. People are calling you out for the actions that you have done in your past that you will not hold accountability for. Allegedly.
But I feel someone needs to step up and actually say something, because everyone is being afraid of being cancelled that they'll never speak up for fear of the backlash. It makes everyone feel useless and unable to talk about what they really feel.
I am pretty sure I've seen several creators and friends speak up about the fact that they do not want you in our community. No one is afraid to come out about not supporting you, my guy. Just because your fans stay under the shadows doesn't mean everyone else does when it comes to other circumstances.
A little bit more popular. If all we do is hate, then we're just gonna end up with more hate. Cancel culture has no place in our fandom. I really feel if we work hard and better ourselves as a community, we can be an example for other communities.
Cancel culture doesn't have a place in our community. See, whether you like it or not, cancel culture does have a place in our community. If it didn't, then the fandom itself would have broken off into various sub-fandoms years ago. And it's currently doing that. A lot of the right-wing furs have broken off into two Griffins fandom, the Burn Furs and another one called Improved Anthropomorphics, just to name a few. So see, with cancel culture we're splitting away anyway. Without it, it would have devolved into factions hating on each other years ago. Plus, if you just clean the fandom of cancel culture, then you allow anyone and everyone who is doing nefarious shit to continue doing nefarious shit. And don't give me the go to the police. A lot of online cases aren't followed up, especially if they don't have a direct name given to it. Also, before you start speaking about police stories, you got through with a loop in the system. Just because your state allowed your doggy files doesn't mean you're innocent. Mate.
A little bit more popular. If all we do is mersuitors, can't control them. They're not hurting anyone.
Personally myself, and I think I can speak on behalf of many other people I've met in this community, I have never seen anyone be cancelled solely based on the fact that they have a mersuit. Surprised? Maybe a little bit. But was anyone cancelled for mersuiting? No. I have seen some creators who have been outed for having a suit, but are still perfectly fine and even around today. Which reminds me, didn't you attempt to call out Majira the other day on Twitter for owning a mersuit? Is this you? Don't try and act like you weren't a part of the problem you caused in the first place.
I've heard this complaint throughout the 2 years I was gone. It was controversy after controversy.
Let me stop you right there. Just because you are not on YouTube anymore does not mean you were gone. While you were away, I did some investigating myself and found your Patreon, which, surprise surprise, you were still active on. I may not have subscribed to your Patreon, but I could clearly still see that you are using your suit that you sold simply by the silhouette and the colours. You may only be using it to advertise your videos, hence in the thumbnails, but that does still not change the fact that you are using it. Plus, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that this is your suit. I don't need to spend $5 just to know that that's you.
Not hurting anyone, but you know what's funny? Some of the rated G fursuiters you all love are mersuiters. There's also a large portion of the fandom that likes porn. Yes, there are people that are strictly G-rated, and that's fine. Good for them. But you can't stop people from being themselves. The NSFW side is very large in our community, and everyone tries to hide it. The general consensus is that we want to be accepted. I get that. And that's why there's a balance. There's a part of the community who wants to be safe for work all the time and interact with the public. And there's a side of the fandom that wants to be NSFW. This is a yin-yang situation. I'm gonna say this again. Neither side is bad. We are all furry. So back to my question. What are we? The first thing that we all are is, simply put, people.
What does this thing have to do with cancel culture? You've named the video Furry Fandom versus Cancel Culture and decided to talk about sexual shit in the fandom. And I'm pretty sure the last time a mersuiter was cancelled or attempted to be cancelled was, what, 2 days ago by you? Fucking hypocrite.
Fandom is what we make it to be. So we might as well make it great in its own way. Who cares what the mainstream media thinks of us?
If the mainstream media categorized us by actions such as things you were called out for, I'm pretty sure that would make a very large impact. For example, conventions could be cancelled in certain locations as they do not want those type of people promoting their venues. Also, this could mean conventions and people at these places could be possibly attacked and put at risk of being seriously hurt simply based on a stigma around the community. Do you want that? I'm pretty sure none of us want it either.
While canceling somebody on social media does cause outrage, harassment, and the doxing of that particular individual, it doesn't actually do anything in the long run.
I don't know who this guy is, but clearly they've been influenced. Cancel culture does not simply just go away. Both in our community and not, cancel culture has a very large impact on someone. Take Kero's situation for example. He got cancelled several years ago, yet is still being called up for it to this day. No one has forgotten the actions and what has gone on, so you cannot tell me that it simply just goes away. Both in this fandom and not, cancel culture has a huge impact on someone's career and their name.
To lie low, change their name, and try again when the heat dies down, rather than have to deal with heavy fines and even incarceration for what they've done.
Can you not put two and two together? They're the same. They fucking see someone with a different unit commit the same things. They connect the two cases together. I've seen this happen a lot, and people using alts to harass others under the guise of fans.
But there are a few people in the community who are ruining it for everyone. This is a happy place, and it's meant to be a happy place.
You know, you're right, it is meant to be a happy place. That is why members in the community have decided to speak up and say they do not want particular members in their community who damage their reputation, who take advantage of their members, and who use it for their own sexual or financial gain that are considered illegal.
Report it to the authorities, because what does canceling do? Well, if the person is innocent, well, good job, you just help ruin someone's life. But on the chance they are guilty, you end up helping them. Cancel culture is a double-edged sword.
Don't cancel, report it to the police. As I've said before, the police don't follow up every single fucking case. Your case was a special one, mate.
Twitter in general is just a very toxic place. So I made the decision not to be active on it anymore. And I know right now there are tons of people wanting to get a reply out of me. Not gonna happen.
I can fully agree that Twitter can be a toxic place sometimes, and it can bring a lot of pressure onto some of the creators. However, Twitter is the biggest platform, at least from what I have seen, where creators have been freely called out for their actions and their wrongdoings, both in their past and their present. If Twitter did not exist, half of the shit that has been called out in our fandom would not even be spoken about. Shit would go under the radar and would probably occur more often due to the fact that there is a low risk of not being called out, at least not being as publicly large as it would be if Twitter was there.
Everyone treats fursuiters and content creators like gods. If one of these people doesn't like another person, they will send their thousands of fans to attack that one person.
You're mentioning all this because of Majira. You're suggesting that you had a 4-minute Twitter beef with Majira and he sent all his fans after you. Majira is one of the humblest YouTubers around. You attempted to expose his private life in hopes that people would go ew, and instead they just hated on you harder. We're all the same, bitch. No, we're not. We're not the same as you, Kero. You've destroyed the fandom name forever with your heinous act. We're not the same. You've got you, and what? You've got 400 people who actually still support you because A, they're shady cunts that will someday be investigated themselves, or kids who haven't heard of the controversy. But judging you by your I'm back tweet, there's about 3,000 people who actively despise what you did. If you can truly care for this fandom, you'd pack your bags and leave.
I'm done with Twitter. I'll occasionally go on there to link a video and message friends, but that's it.
Hold on. Didn't you go on there in an attempt to call out Majira for allegedly mersuiting? And if I recall, I do remember seeing a debate between you and him on Twitter. But you only go on there to message friends, right? Why can't you just admit the shit that you do and own up to your actions?
But they don't want to say anything because they'll get cancelled themselves. Next time a controversy happens, don't be afraid to stand up to people and tell them to stop. This isn't who we are. We are a community, not a hate mob.
If a group of people stood up and told another certain group of people to stop purely because of their opinions, wouldn't that be cancel culture? Got him, lock him up.
Are you the killer? No. Really? Yes. Killer say what? What? Got him! We got him! Guilty!
Alright guys, thank you very much. This has been more of a, comedic, teaching video, edumacation type shit. Thank you very much to Ace for coming on for the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, if I'm still alive.